In Chapter 8, the animals are feeling confused. Animalism is not what they expected it to be. Animalism means following animal instincts, but is used to describe the philosophy of thought related to the rebellion of the animals against their human owner. At the start of the rebellion, there were rules, called the Seven Commandments, that the animals agreed upon. But now that Napoleon, the pig, has taken over command of the farm, the rules are changing. At the last weekly meeting, many of the animals were publicly executed for treason. Isn't there a rule against killing? Will a farm run by Napoleon be better than a farm run by man? The animals continue to work long hours all through the year. Each Sunday, Squealer reads numbers that show that production has increased 200 to 500% over previous years, but the animals are still hungry. Despite their misery, Napoleon is lauded as a great leader. He sleeps in a separate area from the other pigs, eats his meals on the finest china, served to him by the dogs, walks in a procession that is led by a black rooster that trumpets his arrival, and is referred to as our leader, Comrade Napoleon. His birthday has been declared a holiday on which the gun will now be fired. Speeches and poems are written about Napoleon's love for all animals, and he is given credit for every good thing that happens on the farm. Except for the machinery that Whymper is negotiating for them, the windmill is finished by the end of the summer. The animals feel proud of their accomplishment and are praised for their work by Napoleon, who names it Napoleon Mill. Napoleon continues to negotiate the sale of the timber with Mr. Frederick and Mr. Pilkington, as rumors continue to circulate about a former Animal Farm leader, Snowball, and his plans to take over Animal Farm for Mr. Frederick. Gossips say that Mr. Frederick plans to bring 10 men with guns to take over the farm. Rumors about Frederick's mistreatment of his own animals entice the citizens of Animal Farm to want to go take over Frederick's farm and let his animals free, but Squealer persuades them to wait for Napoleon's commands. Mr. Pilkington becomes friendly with Napoleon, as he is selected as the business associate. The other animals do not trust him because he is human, but they prefer him to Frederick. 3 more hens are executed after confessing that Snowball encouraged them to try to kill Napoleon. Additional precautions to ensure Napoleon's safety are put into place, including having 4 dogs guard each corner of his bed at night, and the appointment of a food taster. Word on the street is that Snowball purposely mixed weeds in the corn seed, which resulted in a bad growing season at Animal Farm. The animals are told that Snowball never won an Animal Hero first-class medal. It was just a rumor that Snowball started. The animals thought they remembered differently and are confused once again. The animals are shocked when Napoleon calls them together to announce that the timber is going to be sold to Frederick, and that the stories they heard about Frederick are actually about Pilkington. Frederick is a friend. Turns out, Pilkington's farm is where Snowball has been living. Brilliantly, Napoleon was just pretending to be friendly with Pilkington as a tactic. The price of the timber has been negotiated to equal the cost of the machinery for the windmill. There is a ceremony where each animal views the money. The next day, Whymper comes rushing into the farm to tell them all that the money is counterfeit. Napoleon declares the death sentence for Frederick. Pigeons are sent to Pilkington's farm to make peace. The next morning, Frederick's men come with guns to attack the farm. The animals retreat. Pilkington sends a note back to Napoleon with the pigeons that says, "Serves you right." The animals watch from the barn as the men blow up the windmill. The animals, filled with rage, do not wait for a command. They charge at the men. Many animals are killed. All are wounded, but the animals drive the men off of Animal Farm. A gun fires to celebrate the victory. Why are they celebrating? They have lost everything they worked so hard for. But Squealer explains to them they can always rebuild. They did not lose the farm. Boxer feels weary and is not sure he has the energy to do it all again. But after 2 days of celebration, the animals are inspired. Each animal is given an apple as a reward for bravery in the Battle of the Windmill. Napoleon bestows himself with a new award, the Order of the Green Banner. Everyone forgets about the money. The pigs find a case of whiskey and celebrate all through the night. Napoleon wears Mr. Jones's hat. The next morning, Squealer announces that Napoleon is dying. A few hours later, Squealer announces that drinking alcohol is punishable by death. By evening, Napoleon is in recovery. Napoleon sends Mr. Whymper to purchase books on brewing and distilling, then sets aside a field for growing barley. One night, in the middle of the night, the animals are awakened by the sound of Squealer and a can of white paint falling off a ladder near the barn wall. The fifth commandment now says, "No animal shall drink alcohol to excess." In Chapter 8 of Orwell's Animal Farm, the farm animals discover that, in practice, animalism, the philosophy of the animals' rebellion, is not what they expected it to be. The animals are still shocked and confused about the executions they witnessed. The commandment about killing other animals now has an exception that allows killing with cause. Reports from pig headquarters indicate that production is up, but animals are still hungry. Napoleon is glorified as a supporter of all animals. Rumors continue to fly and change about Snowball, Pilkington, and Frederick. While Snowball is a consistent enemy, the rumors about Pilkington and Frederick seem to change based on where Napoleon is in the negotiations for timber. Once the timber is sold to Frederick, it's determined that Frederick paid using counterfeit bills. Men from Frederick's farm attack Animal Farm with weapons. The animals retreat until the men blow up Napoleon Mill. The animals are so enraged that they charge at the men and drive them off the farm. After 2 days of celebration, the pigs open a case of whiskey and drink until they are sick. Napoleon starts a barley crop and reads about brewing and distilling. Squealer is caught in the barn in the middle of the night, changing the fifth commandment from "No animal shall drink alcohol" to "No animal shall drink alcohol to excess."